live on Facebook, so hi to everybody out there. Like us and follow us. We're going to be sharing the show very, very shortly. My next guest has been on with me a few times now. I have with me Kevin Freeland, if I'm correct on that.
Correct.
And he's the owner of Cryo Tempe. You got to tell everybody a little bit about yourself and what you do. Listen up, everybody, because this is really cool.
What we do is what's called a recovery business. And what that entails is providing services that help people recover from their athletic events, their daily life, even from accidents or surgery. What we provide are cryotherapy, infrared sauna, and what's known as compression therapy. And what those do individually are cryotherapy is a methodology where you go into a nitrogen-cooled chamber for 3 minutes at minus 230 degrees, and that enhances your body's own natural healing properties. Produces endorphins, norepinephrine, what's called noradrenaline as well. Those things circulate through your system and kick in all those things that your body was given to help you get through those type of injuries, those type of inflammation, joint pain, things like that. What we also do is we also have infrared sauna. Infrared sauna works much the same way, or has much the same results, but a different methodology. It uses infrared light to have your body create heat. That heat has its own healing properties. And we also have compression therapy, which is a compressor-actuated massage that will increase your circulation and get your lymphatic system moving and help you flush toxins, reduce pain, and also joint inflammation.
Well, when somebody comes in, do they usually do all of these three modalities, or how does it happen? People
usually come in for a particular service. We do pair things as well. The cryotherapy and the compression therapy pair really well together, so do the sauna and the compression therapy. Then we also have what is called the fire and ice, where you go in the cold and then go in the into the heat, or reverse that order, depending on how you want to feel afterwards. The cryotherapy has a very invigorating effect. So if you want to feel up afterwards, you go in the sauna first, do the cold chamber second, and then you're off on your day. If you want to be relaxed, you go in the cryotherapy first, then you get in the sauna and you leave feeling nice and relaxed, and you sleep really well that night.
Well, and this is all the coolest stuff right now. Cryotherapy is huge.
It is. It's
right
growing
now.
rapidly, definitely.
Very, very big.
Yeah.
And to do it, it's for health reasons, mostly, correct?
Correct. It started out as a pain treatment specifically for people with rheumatoid arthritis. After several years of doing that, they realized that there was a lot of other health benefits for people who are just healthy, as far as sleep regulation. Helps regulate your serotonin levels. Will actually improve your short-term memory recall. So there's a host of benefits that come along with it. So it's starting to become more and more popular. Yeah, I get people to come in for managing their anxiety. Since it does manage your serotonin levels, it helps people with that and reduce or eliminate the medications they need to take for those conditions.
Now, you are doing a really cool giveaway for this weekend, because it's Valentine's Day weekend this weekend, and we're going to leave our lines open here for everyone to call in and get this from me, from him. And this is we haven't named it yet. We were trying to name it before we got on, and then we just came on real suddenly. So this is a 45-minute sauna that you get in. It's a couple sauna.
A couple sauna. Maybe a love sauna?
It's for love, but you got to be careful what you're doing in there,
yes.
right?
There's a limit on certain things, yes.
But it's 45 minutes in the sauna.
Yeah.
Okay, what does it look like? Let's tell everybody about it.
So the sauna, actually, it looks beautiful from the outside. It's a nice wooden structure. Inside, you'll be exposed to different wavelengths of infrared light. Each one of them has their own benefit. If you can stay in there for 45 minutes, because as opposed to traditional sauna, it doesn't get up to 200 degrees or more. It hovers around 120 to 140 in that range. What happens, though, is the infrared light actually stimulates your cells.
Wow.
And that stimulation creates its own heat. So you actually are sweating from the inside out instead of from the outside in. Is a good way to look at it. Because
no wonder we're calling it the love sauna. Go ahead.
And as a result of that, though, it does help with cellular regeneration. It can improve your cardiovascular fitness and cardiovascular health, to lower your blood pressure, and I personally have seen that happen for me. It will also speed the healing of wounds. So after post-surgery, I've had people where doctors will refer people to come in and do the sauna post-surgery, because it enhances the healing process.
So this is an infrared sauna.
Infrared sauna,
we got to say that, because if you just say sauna, it's not as big of a deal.
Yes,
but if you say
sauna.
Infrared sauna, then it becomes much more special.
Yes.
This is 45 minutes in there with a couple. and I've got my lines open here for everyone to call throughout the rest of the show. Our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. He's registered with the Better Business Bureau. When you talk to people, you do free consultation. You got to have a talk with them first, don't you?
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you can check him out on his website. It's cryotempe.com.
Yes.
Okay. It's cryotempe.com. He's all over social media, everywhere, 5-star everywhere. You got to check him out. And what I love about it the most is that you were not just talking about like the regular, the remote, whatever you want to say, that Joe sauna. We're talking about infrared. We're talking about cryotherapy. And the other one was what? I forgot now.
Compression therapy.
Compression therapy.
Yes.
And these three modalities is what you focus on. Do you do
Correct.
anything else in there as well?
There's one other thing we do. It's called percussion therapy, which uses
What's that? A drum.
It looks much like it works kind of like a jigsaw does, where you has a device that it moves in and out, and it actually creates it breaks up what's known as fascia, which are structures that are around the muscles that can get tight, and these will compress and vibrate and percuss those areas and loosen them up, get rid of knots, tension, create more circulation in areas so you can heal. Injuries will heal more quickly. Sore muscles will go away more quickly as well.
Well, I am learning so much about that. I know for me, I had a pain all over. I was like and the longest time, and my muscles were so tight, and mainly probably because I was tightening too.
Correct.
But I've learned that that's wonderful for everything that you do is wonderful for it. Correct?
Yeah, definitely. So a lot of this, like what
I
people
haven't even
will do.
gotten to your questions yet. Come on, let's get going here.
Okay.
So go ahead. What do a lot of people do?
Well, in relation to what you were talking about there, a lot of people will use a foam roller, and that's become very popular these days. What the things we do, especially the compression and the percussion, are a foam roller, but taken up about 5 extra notches above that as far as effectiveness and how long-lasting the effects are.
Now, when someone comes in, they can choose what they want. They don't have to do all three, correct?
Yeah, correct.
But most people end up trying it.
Right. Some people ask me what they think is best for them to do when
What
they
is
come in.
what do you think is best for most people?
You know, it's case by case. For people that are, for some people, it's a determination of whether they can handle the cold or not based on certain conditions. If you've had recent heart surgery, a pacemaker, uncontrolled high blood pressure, then absolutely not can you get in the cryotherapy chamber. The cold would have a very adverse effect on you. Those people I will direct more towards compression and the infrared sauna because those are pretty much across the board safe for just about everyone.
So everything, I was just going to ask you about that, the safety of it, because everyone wants to know. Well, we've got our lines open here, and this weekend is your love weekend, and right now we have a couple sauna. It's an infrared sauna, and it's infrared light
Infrared
sauna.
light, yes.
And so we've got our lines open here for everyone to get entered in to win. Our number here, 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. He does free consultations with everyone. You can check him out on his website. It's cryotempe.com. You can call him direct. His phone number is 602-552-6714. He's rated with the Better Business Bureau. He's all over social media, 5-star. And I'm going to let everyone call here throughout the rest of the show to get entered in to win this couple infrared sauna. How wonderful it is. And I'm pretty sure it's fun as well,
yes,
especially if you're going with somebody else. So 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. So I want to talk a little bit about something that's important here because you have it here and I haven't been able to ask because I've been going off all your questions. So what is the difference between near and far infrared? What is it?
So the sauna we have has 3 different wavelengths of infrared light: near, mid, and far. So near has its own spectrum of benefits, and so does far, and mid kind of crosses over between those two. So far infrared, primarily, but most infrared saunas are far infrared saunas only. Ours happens to have a little bit extra built into it. The far infrared is the one that is most commonly used for pain relief, cardiovascular health. That's the one that will blow your blood pressure. Also will raise your metabolism and help you burn calories. The near infrared one is where you get more of the actual healing going on. So cellular health, make your skin look younger, will heal wounds more quickly. And also what gets down to what is known as the mitochondria in your cells, reactivates those and makes your cells more healthy. Better functioning cells mean a better functioning you and a healthier you.
So when people come in, do they normally have, I know that you said that if they've had any type of injury, arthritis, you said, that's typical. What is the non-typical thing that they might come in, that you're thinking of somebody that might come in, they're dealing with pain from whatever, does it matter what it is?
It doesn't really matter what it is. The more non-typical that we're starting to see is people coming in for things like anxiety and depression management. Those are the things that are really starting to branch out.
But not this week, we're all happy. Except sometimes we're not.
Sometimes might be a little depressed.
I hear you.
And Valentine's week gets you down, come on in.
Come on in, you'll feel better. Right now we've got a couple infrared sauna that we're giving away right now here at the station. Our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. I want to make this clear. It's not the sauna, it's the 45 minutes that you get to sit in it, and it's wonderful. They're located in Tempe. They're rated with the Better Business Bureau. They do free consultations with everyone so that you know exactly what you're doing before you even do it. They're all over social media. You can check them out anywhere you want. You can call them direct. Their number is 602-552-6714. Their website is cryotempe.com. How frequently can someone do this? How often do you do it? You're right there.
Since I have access to it, I do cryotherapy 2 or 3 times a week, and I do the infrared sauna about 4 or 5 days a week. Ideally, for the infrared sauna, you want to get at least 3 days in a week to get the maximum benefits. But you will see benefits after just one session. Of course, these things build upon each other as a cumulative effect.
Here's what I want to do. We're going to go to a break, and when we come back, I want to talk further about the health benefits of all these things and go more individual on them, especially the cryotherapy that is brand new. I also think infrared, they've all been around forever, but you guys, check it out on his website. We're going to talk further when he comes back. It's cryotempe.com. Call in here, get entered into win, 602-277-5369. Welcome back, everyone. We're live on Facebook again, so hi to everybody out there. Like us and follow us. We're going to share the show right afterwards. And we are right now talking to Kevin Freeland, and he's the owner of Cryo Tempe. We've got our lines open here for everyone to get entered into win. We just came up the name. Somebody was sitting here and came up with it. Thank you for that. It's a 45 minutes in heaven of an infrared sauna that you're going to get couple. So 2 people get to get it inside this thing of heaven. And the number here to call for that is 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. It is Valentine's Day coming up, so everybody get ready, because everybody always waits for the last second on that stuff. Call in here, get entered into win, and we'll get you one of those for your honey, whoever you want. 602-277-5369. You have been around for a long time in this industry. Better Business Bureau, you're rated with them. You are a 5-star with everyone, social media, everyone. You can check them out on any of the platforms. Your website is cryotempe.com. We were talking a little bit about you even doing your own radio show, while we were talking at the break, because it would be great to be able to have people call in and talk to you about some of their issues and what it's good for. We talked a little bit about the cryotherapy, but we didn't really go deep in it, and I want to have people talk about that. You can't say you're going to go how freezing is it?
Minus 230 degrees.
Minus 230 degrees. How many people would just love to jump in and do that? Go ahead.
Well, that is, it's interesting you bring that up, because people come in, the majority of people for the first time are scared to death.
I'm sure.
I have to talk them, down a little bit before they get in, and just explain the process to them and make them understand why it's not dangerous. If you think of jumping into anything like water, going to a pool at 50 degrees, you feel like that's the coldest thing you've ever felt in your life. The difference between that and in the cryotherapy chamber is that it's a mist. It's a liquid nitrogen vapor that surrounds you and it swirls around you, so it's not in contact with your skin 100% of the time.
I didn't know that. That's
the water hits every square inch of your body, so it's going to feel colder. The idea, though, is that mist eventually, over the 3-minute period, if you get at least 2 minutes where your skin temperature has been dropped by 35 degrees. That's when everything starts to kick in. So your body starts basically sensing a hypothermia, and your body has a reaction to that, a protective reaction that will produce, what we talked about before, the endorphins, norepinephrine, noradrenaline, those are basically life-saving measures your body is taking. Raising your body temperature, increasing your heart rate, your blood pressure will go up, and in a safe manner. Those things, since you're not going to die, those things actually get put to a beneficial purpose. They will heal, they will de-inflame, they will raise your awareness, the ability to process oxygen and process information will be increased, all those things that you would need in an emergency situation, but since it's done in a benign situation, they're very beneficial and very healthy.
Now, when people come in and do that, I mean, I could certainly understand how it will work for inflammation because it's cold, so it's going to bring down the inflammation, right? But you also said other things like for pain and injuries.
Yes, mentioning the cold, the idea of the cold is actually the trigger. The cold itself is not the treatment, as opposed to icing an injury or taking an ice bath, where the idea is to try to force the cold in from the outside to where the injury is. This is actually enhancing your body's own mechanisms of fighting the pain and inflammation internally. We already have those; they just need to be enhanced. And so the cold just is a trigger, and that trigger then sets everything else in motion, and that's why it can treat inflammation the way it does, because what's called the endorphins are 1,000 times more powerful than morphine. They're just produced in a way that our body absorbs them in a very beneficial manner. It takes out inflammation, takes down swelling. People will come in. I've had people come in. I had a guy come in who couldn't even walk. He had a back injury, and he came in dragging a leg, barely made it in there, 3 minutes in the chamber, walked out without a limp.
Wow.
It's that definitive.
It's that fast.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And then that benefit actually increases over the 4 to 6 hours after the treatment, because it takes that long for everything to work completely through your system.
Well, here's what's cool. I think that by offering this wonderful thing in heaven here, we've got 45 minutes of heaven in the infrared sauna. That is a way of coming in, testing that, checking out everything else, because I'm sure everybody that comes in does all of the modalities. Eventually, yeah. Eventually, because they want to try it.
They're very curious. If you walk in and say you're coming in for the sauna, and you see the cryotherapy chamber sitting there, and it does look very space age, and the curiosity factor goes way up at that point.
Sure.
And it kind of balances out the terror factor that might be there as well. But people eventually usually give it a shot.
Now, we've got our lines open here for everyone to get entered into win. It's 45 minutes in heaven, which is an infrared sauna, and it's for a couple. Our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. Of all of the different ones, let's say you were just talking about cryotherapy. How often does one do that?
It varies on what is needed. I have people that come in once a month. I have people that come in once a week. I have people that come in daily. My original
if you're
cryotherapy
doing it daily,
client.
God bless you.
My original cryotherapy client was someone who had rheumatoid arthritis, so deals with severe pain and inflammation. By doing cryotherapy daily, though she doesn't have to take any medications.
How about
controlled
age?
without
Does
that.
age have anything to do with it?
You have to be at least 14. And that's actually based on insurance carriers. That's more than anything else.
Is it covered?
It's not covered as a treatment. No,
Okay.
you can use through our facility though. You can use your HSA or flexible spending account.
Okay. Okay.
We're
But
provider
let's talk
for
about
that.
age again. You said you have to be 14.
At least 14.
But what about if you're older?
There is no upper limit. I've had the oldest person I've had go in so far has been 85.
Wow.
And she absolutely loves it.
Again, you always do the consultation beforehand
Yes.
to make sure that they are up
there are
to
some
snuff.
definitive health clearances.
What are they?
Recent heart attack or any kind of heart condition, a pacemaker, those things are all will disqualify you, definitely. Severe neuropathy, that's something you would get nerve damage caused by diabetes. That's another one that you can't manage in there. There are also some conditions that react as almost as an allergy to the cold. Raynaud's disease is one, where your body you will actually get hives from the cold. That, if it depends on what part of your body is usually affected, that can be a contraindication as well. You do wear protective gloves and boots in there, so your toes and fingers are protected. That is where a lot of the conditions are centered to, because we do have less circulation in your hands and feet. We do protect those, so a lot of the conditions, even if you have them, they can be managed with the protective gear.
I have to ask this question. Do you go in there clothed?
You go in there with just underwear.
Okay.
Underwear, the big fuzzy slippers, and the winter gloves.
Right. Okay. Just on check. And when they're done, do you mix these up at the same time? Like, can they do when they're done and they've just been frozen to death, right? Not to death, but it's awesome that they can get it because it's healthy. I was just being funny. But when then they can go into the sauna and they can. How long afterwards? How long do they have to wait?
You can go right in.
Really?
Yeah. There is no recovery period between. You go from one basically put the robe back on, then you can go right in the
Do
sauna and jump
people
in.
usually do the cryo first and then the sauna? Does it matter?
It doesn't matter. It really depends on what you're trying to do. The ones that have specific order that we try to do in was a compression therapy we'll do before both the cryotherapy or the sauna. With doing the cryotherapy and the sauna, it depends on how you want to feel afterwards.
Well, if you've never tried something, this would be a great opportunity.
Yeah.
The infrared sauna is awesome. I mean, and a lot of people have heard of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know that it's safe. So start off with that. Go in. You and a loved one for 45 minutes to sit there in heaven. But what the benefits of that? So that it's not just sitting there. It is sitting and relaxing, but
it's sitting and
the benefits.
relaxing, and relaxation is one of the benefits. It lowers your stress levels. Stress can have very deleterious effects on the rest of your life. That is actually the precursor to a lot of diseases we have, are elevated stress levels for an extended period of time.
Sure.
So lowering those would be fantastic. But in addition to all that, you do have some definitive things that happen in your body as a response to the exposure to infrared light. Far infrared, like I mentioned before, does have raise your metabolic rate. It will help with wound healing. It will help with cardiovascular health, that expand the volume of blood that your vessels can carry, and so it lowers your risk of heart attack and stroke. Actually, one thing I didn't mention earlier was that there was a 21-year study done with men in Finland, 2,300 men that did sauna 3 times a week regularly over that time period, and compared to the general population, their mortality rate was 45% lower.
It's been around forever, and
Yeah.
you know what? We all know that it's wonderful for us. Get
Yeah.
entered in to win. Our number here is 602-277-5369. Real quickly, do you offer packages or memberships?
Yes, there are monthly memberships and packages where you can buy a number of sessions and use them over time. Monthly memberships based on how many times a week you want to access how many times per month you want to access the therapy.
Do you let people come in when you do that consultation, to at least try a little or look at anything, or
Yeah.
start off with something small,
Yeah, you can do a little brief, 15 minutes in the sauna, 15 minutes on the compression sleeves, because those usually take 30 minutes.
And then you usually love it, and
Yeah.
then you become a member.
Oh, yeah.
Call in here, get entered in to win. This is for love this weekend that we're talking about. It's a couple's heaven. You're going to be 45 minutes in heaven. It's an infrared sauna that we've got everyone getting entered in to win. Our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. They're located in Tempe. You could check them out on their website. It's cryotempe.com. They're rated with the Better Business Bureau. They do free consultations. They're all over social media. They're awesome. It's great. 602-552-6714. It's cryotempe.com.
If I traded it all